We have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
Straight white male, hate myself. Mad that my skin so pale. Got white privilege so I cannot fail. The world told me I'm evil still. I break the law but I escaped the jail. My diet only mayonnaise and kale. I went to school and I pay my taxes. I used good grammar, I'm bad as hell. I'm not a Nazi, I like black people, black Jesus, black Santa, black coffee. I'm not a racist, I like Hispanics and Negroes and Natives and Asians. Black power says I'm the problem, girl power says I'm the issue. Gay rights think I'm trying to stop them. I'll let y'all chip and I'll get you some tissue.
As always, some of you might remember such episodes as white people cooking non-white food is racist. Apparently rape didn't exist among native populations until white people came along. Jogging has always excluded black people. Petition to put white cis dudes on a barge and float them out to sea. I mean, like, joke's on you, we just colonized that as well. I don't know what to tell ya. We'd have an army of sharks by the end of the week. And lastly, Coca-Cola is having employees complete online training that teaches them to be less white. The seminar, which is available on LinkedIn, tells people that being less white is to be less arrogant, less certain, less defensive, less ignorant. Yeah, so these are traits not found in any other racial group, just the whiteys.
What's going on, everybody? I know you're probably sick and tired of the white people bad narrative and the hatred for conservatives and stuff that's going on, as I am. However, I would very much like you guys to go and check out Sydney Watson, especially her video, White People Bad Part 3. I actually caught her on Tim Pool a week ago, something like that, and she's a very intelligent person, and she's got a lot of really interesting things to say, so if you get a chance, you guys should look into her, check her out, see what she's got to say. Alright, now I brought up the point of racism and everything that's going on right now, so I can take us to where it's going, because right now we're under a 4-phase plan to actually take over the country and convert it from what we have now into socialist communism. Alright? So it's very important that we take note of all the racism and all the demonization of conservatives and stuff and gun owners and everything that have been going on and recognize it for what it is. So without further ado, let me show you something on the screen real quick that should help solidify what I'm talking about. This isn't going to be a long video, but this stuff does need to be discussed, so here we go. Alright guys, we did the Yuri Bezmenov thing, and I'm going to do a couple more videos on some of his teachings and what he actually has to say. And I'm also going to do some recordings of some of the audiobook files for the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. That way I can really elaborate and show you guys what's going on and where this is going. Alright, this right here is a chart that shows the 4 stages of Soviet ideological subversion, demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and normalization. And over the last few years, over the last few decades, we have seen this taking place. Alright? We see everything here, you know, different sections, you know, ideas, structure, life, power struggle, you know, all of this, okay? Now, at the current time, we are here. We are under destabilization, alright? This is where we're at. However, how did we get here? We went through the stages, okay? Ideas, religion, you politicize it, you commercialize it, you turn it into entertainment. TBN! Sorry. Had something in my throat. Joel Osteen! Oh, sorry. Happened again. Phew. I gotta get that checked out. Alright, education. Permissiveness, relativity, ignorance. Lord knows we've seen that happen. I mean, look at the social economic structure and everything that's gone on in America. What main things did they remove from our classrooms? Well, you're not taught actual American history and exceptionalism. You're not taught what your constitutional rights are anymore. I think that went out in, what, the 70s? Somewhere around in there. Christ got kicked out of, the classroom as well. You can't even talk about Jesus anymore. So, yeah, and that left us at ignorance. How many people do you know that proclaim to be educated yet are some of the stupidest people you've ever met? I rest my case. Media. Monopolize, manipulate, discredit. Non-issues. Uniformed myopia. Lord knows we've seen that happen. And we've seen it happen under certain CIA type operations like Operation Mockingbird. What's ironic is a lot of this stuff is being promulgated and put forward almost in synchrony with the time period that the Soviet Party in America, the Communist Party, actually joined the Democratic Party. So you had not just that influence, but you also had influence from the Nazis that came over from Operation Paperclip. And, it's created a perfect storm. All right. And if you think for 1 second that Hitler got his ideology from himself, you would be wrong, because he was directly linked to some Soviet Russian type stuff before he actually came to political power. In fact, that's how he came to political power. But we will talk about that in depth in another video. Culture, false heroes and role models. Hollywood, need I say more? Hollywood, addictive fads, mass. Lord knows we've seen that. Structure, law and order, legislative, not moral. See, we no longer operate under a moral code or anything in the justice system anymore. That's why it's all based on what club you belong to. Secret societies have flourished, and if you're rich and have money and well-connected, well, guess what? Justice doesn't apply to you. But the little man, oh yeah, it totally applies to him. So it creates a demoralized actual country in the fact that we can't trust the justice system anymore. And can we? Ladies and gentlemen, you tell me. No, we cannot trust the justice system. It's getting to the point to where you're going to have people that are going to stand up and they'd rather die than trust their lives in the hands of a corrupt justice system that's going to do everything they can to hang them. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. Need I say more? Okay. Social relations, rights versus obligations. We have been seeing that in such a mannerism now, flourishing with this whole fake convid nonsense. All right. As a matter of fact, the Constitution and the Declaration stuff, it refers to it as a color of law. Your governor doesn't have the right to make a law. Your mayor cannot make a law. So, mask mandates, they are not the law. Curfews, they are not the law. How many people can sit down in a restaurant? They are not a law. Am I making myself clear? They're not a law. It is a social obligation being forced on you with the threat of force, backed by the boys in blue with their badges. And if any of you guys are cops and stuff listening to this, if you're one of those people that's enforcing these unconstitutional mandates, you're a traitor. I will tell you that right now. You are a traitor. And I have zero respect for you. There's a reason why I'm not doing law enforcement, and that's it. All right, and we've watched this fade into the next one. Security, intelligence, police, military, defenselessness. Do you feel like they're going to protect you? I sure don't. Internal politics, party antagonisms, disunity. Lord knows we've seen plenty of that. Foreign, salt, friends, isolation. How many countries would actually come to our defense right now? Canada won't. Mexico wouldn't. I seriously doubt the UK would. We have become a hissing sound in the wind to the vast majority of nations that are out there. All right, let's go on to the next one. Life, family, society, breakup, no loyalty, state. I mean, do I really have to tell you, hey, we're seeing this happen? Health, sports, Medicare, junk food, enfeebled masses. There is a design, a purpose, a strategy to what they are doing. They are putting all of this out there. Sports and all that is meant to distract, give them bread and circus, and the masses will never revolt. All right? Medicare, if you make people dependent on the system or keep giving them free hands out, they will become dependent on the system, which means they become dependent on the government. All right? Junk food. I find it entertaining, all the people that are terrified of the convid. The vast majority of them, they don't take care of themselves. And you have this backed by a media that promotes McDonald's and Wendy's and all these fast food and all this junk food, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and all this stuff that has no nutritional value for your body whatsoever and actually puts it in a state of disarray and disrepair that it cannot overcome as long as you are ingesting these things. And the simple fact of the matter is all the doctors and stuff that have come out and found that in healthier people, this virus has absolutely no effect, and most of them don't even know they had it. It's because they exercise on a regular basis. They eat healthy. They eat good foods. They take the right vitamins and supplements that helps build up their immune system and gives the human body the ability to do what God designed it to do. And a weak mass, if you have masses that are obese and lazy, what's the odds of them being able to stand up to the force or military might of jackbooted thugs backed by a corrupt government? Just saying. Race. How long have they been pushing this nonsense? Lower the uppers, Bible, genetics versus environment. This would be a very, very, very long one to break down. And genetically speaking, it's not so much the problem as it is the environment. If you take someone and raise them from youth, telling them that they're stupid and that the system hates them and that they can't get ahead because of the quote-unquote white man or because of the man in general, then they are going to grow up believing that, and they are going to be naturally become dependent on the system and resort to most oftentimes gang life, thuggery, criminal enterprises in order to do what they need to do. And that further promulgates and causes hatred and division between races, and it causes separation. The reason why they want that is because if everyone is divided and hating each other, then they can't unite and actually make a stand against those who are really trying to manipulate and control them. Population, deland, urbanize. We've seen that with UN Agenda, what is it, 2030? I think that's right. Was 2025? Basically, they want to take everyone and force them out of the rural areas and confine them into the cities and jam-packed cubicles. Think Judge Dredd, or you know what? There's all kinds of movies that are based on that. Think China. China has a lot of that going on. All right, labor, unions versus society, victimization. I mean, kind of says it on its own, right? Destabilization usually takes 2 to 5 years, all right? And we've been seeing it real heavily for the last year. And they're going to keep putting on the pressure. That's the reason why they couldn't let populists be in control, nationalists be in control. It has to be someone that's willing to submit to the globalist oligarchies and be willing to destabilize the country and separate and cause more division. Power struggle. Populism, irresponsible power struggle. Okay, Big Brother. See, that is a prime thing. Big Brother technology. Look into Operation Prism, and you'll find out that Facebook, Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft are all part of Operation Prism in the CIA, in DARPA's little pet project. Most people don't even know it, but Facebook was actually a DARPA project that was brought online under a different name. So, there you go. Big Brother. That's the reason why you see the thought police so heavily on Facebook. As a matter of fact, the only reason why we still have a page on Facebook is because there are people there that have not gone over to some of the other platforms that I still have to communicate with and reach out to. Like it or not, it's still a popular platform, even though they keep you isolated. As soon as there's something better, we will be moving everything over there. Just like we are doing with our YouTube channel. It's being moved over to Odysee, which I'm in the process of doing that. I'm waiting for the videos to transfer over there. And we will also be moving our video platforms over to Rumble. And our social media stuff is, for the most part, going to be moving on to Parler. Yes, Parler is back. It is up. It is functional. As a matter of fact, I downloaded the new version of the app on the phone, and you can access it through Parler's website. So I strongly recommend doing that, because the only way that we hurt these oligarchs is by damaging their pocketbook and destabilizing them. The best way to do that is financially. It's a long shot, but it's worth trying. All right, economy. Destruction of bargaining process. Yield to Big Brother. And we're seeing that happen now. That's the reason why companies and stuff like Visa are backing and pushing cryptocurrency. It's all leading up to the mark of the beast system, which we all know you won't be able to buy or sell without having certain things. And how can they control that? Well, they control that by controlling and manipulating the currency. And the only way they can do that is if it is digital. Society, fiber law. Grassroots participation. Mobocracy. Antifa. Black Lives Matter. That's the reason why manipulation of the media is so important. Society, oh sorry, we just did that one. Foreign, isolation, multinations, and central community. Prestige, belligerent, encirclement. And you're seeing that now. Mexico is being turned against us slowly but surely. They want to destabilize us and force the North American Union, really. But the only way they can do that is through the destruction of America, because nationalism still has a strong presence here. All right, and then you go to crisis, 2 to 6 months. We've been in one for a quote-unquote year, and then normalization. And that is what they keep pushing for. The only reason why it's taking longer than the 2 to 6 months it's portrayed in this particular document is because the American people are not going to bow down for the most part. We are in the middle of a fight for the very soul of this nation. And we have to do everything we can to change it back. We have to spread the truth. That's the reason why we're going to the other platforms and stuff, because there's things that I can say on Odysee and Parler that I cannot say here or on Facebook or on Twitter or on name a popular platform. You know what I'm saying? We have to draw people, and we have to be able to speak up, and we have to do it relentlessly. At the rate it's going, we're being forced into a corner. If this goes on too much longer without us making huge dents in what that is they're trying to do, they will either declare war on us, which you're already seeing. They're purging the U.S. military right now and trying to get rid of anyone that supported Trump or is a conservative. So we're watching what happened to Venezuela. We're watching what happened to China under Mao. We're watching what happened to Germany under Hitler. We're watching what happened to Russia under Marx and Stalin happen to America. You have tyrants that have illegally stolen an election and placed themselves in power. you have them declaring conservatives and white people and Christians and stuff as the enemy. And the only reason why they're even bringing race into it is to try and draw in racially charged people that will join up with them, you know, trying to draw in the quote-unquote woke people. And they are building their own private military. They're going to eventually get to the point where they're going to try and force their boot down your throat. And they're weaponizing everything right now. It's going to start with federal agencies like the ATF. They're going to try and attack the Second Amendment and its supporters, because most Second Amendment people are conservatives, are constitutionalists, and they have to identify their enemy and then villainize them in the eyes of the public, and then they will seek to destroy them. So the purge is going on in the military right now. There was a time where if they would have tried this, there would have been a lot of opposition from within the military. But if they're doing the purge the way that they are, who's going to oppose them? Exactly. Silence. No one will. They'll just follow orders, and you're seeing the same thing happen with police departments around the nation. That's the reason why the entire defund the police movement was so important to them. They want the police completely demoralized, thinking that nobody supports them. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you are a cop, if you actually uphold your oath and you still protect the people and are willing to protect their constitutional rights and refuse to obey these unconstitutional edicts being thrown around by these tyrants, then you have my full support. But if not, then you're worthless to me. You're an enemy. I hate to put it that directly and that blunt, but that's just the way that it is. I'll pray for you, and I'll pray that you come to your senses, but that's it. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for this particular video. We'll go over this stuff more in depth later. Remember, we are going to be doing a live stream here on YouTube Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will do an update as soon as I get everything set up that will have the link and everything in it for you. That way you guys can join us. Also, we are working a couple cases right now that I actually need some help with from hopefully one of you guys that actually tunes into this channel. I can't give details because I don't want to give anything away to any of the people that might be watching this in order to figure out what it is we're up to. Let's just say we're working a case that covers a decent number of areas, and I need a drone for surveillance purposes. I'm not much of a tech guy. I'm a door kicker. I'm an investigator. That's what I do. So any of you guys out there that are tech savvy and know your way around drones, hit me up. If you... I hate doing this because I despise anyone that actually asks for money or contributions. I'll do it this way. If you are a tech person and you have a drone recommendation that would be good for us that isn't like super expensive, that would be awesome. Or if you are one of the individuals that, if you live in the Memphis area and you wouldn't mind us borrowing your drone or would be apt or up for helping us, let us know. Alright? Like I said, y'all know my stance. I can't stand it when people beg or ask for money, so I don't do that. That's the reason why I do the t-shirt stuff. That way, if anyone wants to buy a t-shirt or something, I get money that way and you guys get something in return. You know what I mean? Alright, so now that I have that out of the way, if any of y'all can help or support in that manner, that would be extremely awesome. Sooner the better, simply because, ritual dates are coming up and, well, there's things that need to be done. So, other than that, I think that covers everything. Yeah. Yes, it does. Alright, so I'm going to cut out and get off here for the night, and we'll holler at you guys later. Peace.